Thanks for joining today. I appreciate your time. Let's start with the band around the bottom of one foot. Now you have options. You can do one leg extended, other leg bent, or you can do both legs extended. Totally up to you. I like to just do one leg and kind of stabilize and work on my balance, not worry about my balance while I have to focus on my posture. So make sure you have some extra slack coming out of the side of your hands. You're not holding onto the handle, you're holding onto the band. And from right here, we're going to pull in towards the back end of your chair and then go forward towards your foot or your shin or the leg that's extended, however you want to think about it. But we're just pulling in. Now, if you have some arm bars on the side of your chair, be careful. Make sure you're lifting those elbows up high enough so that you're not hitting those arm bars or hitting your elbow on there, your funny bone on there. Right? We want to avoid that, so make sure you just lift those elbows high enough so that you can avoid that area. And we're trying to bring those elbows, I'll give you a little side view, those elbows as far back as you can. And as you bring those elbows back, this is where you want to pay attention to your posture, where you feel the shoulder blades pinch and you kind of feel that chest stretch and stick out a little bit. And then you go forward again, and then you kind of feel everything kind of come back into a neutral type of position. The chest is kind of neutral, back, shoulders are neutral. And then from here, we squeeze the shoulder blades and stretch the chest. And then we go forward again. So this move is really great for the posture. You're really feeling those arms. Right? The hand grip is working to squeeze and hold on to that band. So if your grip is working, that means your forearms are working. And then as we pull in, those biceps are working a little bit. Shoulders. The lats. The lats are the latissimus dorsi. It's that big muscle right around the back, the ribs, alongside the ribs, the back side of the ribs as well. Shoulders are working. Upper posture muscles are working. Trapezius, rhomboids. So whole upper body really working and dialing it in, helping you improve your posture. So we're going to continue to do these. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right, adjust your feet. I'm going to get situated. We're going to work on biceps. So you have 2 options here. Sitting or standing. I'm going to eventually stand, but I'll show you the seated version first. So for whatever reason, if you need to sit down, maybe your balance isn't all that great today, or you're just not feeling well with your back, whatever it is, bicep curls, sitting really tall. Now notice the band is around the bottom of both feet. Feet are flat, and my feet are kind of wide, and I'm holding on to the handles. So this is one way to do it. Now, the one thing about this is your range of motion, the resistance through your range of motion lessens at the bottom because the band gets really, really loose. And that's okay. Right? So you're getting partial reps, partial bicep curls. So meaning right around here for me, I lose tension. And it's not a full extension in my arm, so it's a partial repetition. So from here, once I feel like I lose the tension in my bicep, I can stop my arm movement and then come back up to the top, and I'm bringing my hands towards my shoulders. Now, a way to bypass this is to stand all the way up. Now I have tension from the very bottom all the way up, and now the tension is even greater as you come up to the top. So it's a little bit more challenging, and you have more range of motion. So you pick. What works well for your body? Do you need to sit down or can you stand up? Both work just fine because the goal is to hit the biceps. Keep that posture nice and tall. Keep your core engaged. Shoulders are back a little bit, and then the shoulders are down, right? Don't shrug as you're trying to curl. Drop the shoulders down, relax, pinch the shoulder blades just a little bit, bring them back just a little. Not too much, right? We don't want to pinch the shoulder blades too much. Just a little engagement and drop those shoulders down. And we're just curling. Let's do 5 more. 4, 3, 2. Now on this last one, come down. And you want to come down about halfway, just enough to feel that tension. Whether you're sitting or standing, you want to stop at a point where you feel tension and hold it there. Now you don't want to hold it at the top. You can come down about 3 or 4 inches from the top and you'll feel that tension there. But just hold it. Hold, hold, hold. No movement. So they call this isometric training. So isometric just means no movement. You're working, you're exercising, you're contracting the bicep muscles, but you're not moving at all. So like a plank. A plank is a isometric contraction. Right? There's no movement in a plank, but you're working your core. And let's hold for another 10 seconds. We're almost there. About 5 seconds now. 3, 2, 1, and come all the way down. And then have a seat. And if you've already been sitting down this whole time, no problem. Take off the band. Remove it from the bottom of your feet. And now let's hold on to it with 2 hands. So, hands are about shoulder width apart, give or take, maybe a little wider. Sitting down, good tall posture, sitting down. Shoulders. Make sure those shoulders are relaxed and dropped, okay? So that's the key here. Drop those shoulders, relax the shoulders, bring them down. From here, as you bring those arms up, pay attention to your shoulders. Do you feel that you're shrugging as you bring the arms up? If you notice that's happening, lower your hands and drop your shoulders and then keep your arms a little low. And we're going to pull apart. Pull that band apart. Stretch out the band and bring those arms out to the side. Now the challenge is trying to get that band to touch your body. Maybe the top of the stomach, the bottom of the sternum, however you want to think about it, right around the chest area, maybe a little bit below the chest, more towards the stomach. It depends on if you're shrugging your shoulders. Right? So if you're able to elevate to shoulder height without lifting the shoulders up and shrugging, then you would actually be a little higher up and above your chest, more towards the clavicle. So again, depending on the angle of your arm, that band is going to hit in different areas, or it's going to touch your body in different spots. Figure it out. See where you're at. There's nothing wrong with keeping those hands and arms low. There's nothing wrong with that. You're still going to feel it. You should already feel it. Right? Those upper arms, posture muscles, the trapezius, that muscle right around the neck. And we don't realize how much we need to have those neck muscles strong too, because they support our head. Right? Head's not a light thing. You got cerebral fluid inside your brain or around your brain, and then the skull. All of that weighs about anywhere between 9 to 13, 14 pounds, give or take, depending on the proportions of the person, but it's all on your neck to support your head. So it can be tough. Now from here, let's do one more. Extend and hold. Isometric. We're not moving. Holding. This is tough. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Posture's tall. Your shoulders should be on fire. Take a break if you need it. But let's go for another 10 seconds. So continue to hold. Keep that band against your body. 5 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Nice and easy. Come out of it. I'm going to change up my hand grip. So I'm actually going to have the back end of my hands against my thighs, and the palms are facing up towards the sky. And now I have that band right inside my hands, right inside the palms of my hands. Close your fist. You should notice your hands are already just shoulder width apart. So you're already there. Elbows are bent. Keep them bent as we move those elbows out to the side. So your elbows need to stay in tight to your body. Imagine your inside elbow or your inside arm, right? The inside part of your bicep, tricep, is glued to your ribs. And all you can do is just externally rotate and move your forearms and your hands out to the side. Try not to let your upper arm move away from your ribs. Or think about maybe clenching so that you're keeping the armpit in tight and close to your body. Think of it that way. Maybe your armpits smell a little bit. You're trying to keep the odor in, and you don't want that odor to kind of get out there. And not to mention that you can't really smell it anyway because everyone has a mask on. But that's the kind of mentality you want to think. Elbows in, arms in, right? And then moving those arms outward. Rotator cuff. Working on our shoulders. The internal rotation, the internal compartment of our shoulders, rotator cuff, is responsible for a lot of movement, internal, external rotation. Scapula, a lot of movement going on. Let's do 3 more. 3, 2, hold it out there. On this last one, hold it out there. Make sure your elbows are in tight to your body. Hold it out. Elbows in. Keep those armpits closed, clamped down, in tight to the body. Hold it wide. Hold it for 10 seconds. Elbows in, arms out. Hold, hold, hold. We are almost there. 5 seconds. These are tough. 2, 1, and relax. Shake out those arms. Nice and easy. Moving along. Bring those arms up if you can. So holding on to the band, have some slack, right? Coming out to the side of the hands. Above the head if you can. If you cannot do this, then your hands are a little lower or your arms are a little lower. But the challenge is to try to bring that band above your head and then stretch it. Now, if you can, you're trying to bring the band behind your head towards the base of your neck or the base of the skull, in that general area. Right, so if you can go behind your head with the band, touch the back of your neck, maybe the back of your skull or the base of your skull, maybe the top of the shoulders, you can kind of come all the way down and kind of see and get a feel for it. But you can feel that band coming against the body as you come down, right? You can come down a little lower below the shoulders if you want, and then come all the way up. Just be mindful. Watch out for that beautiful hair that you spent so much time getting done this morning. All right, so if you need to go to the front of the body, totally fine. Say for whatever reason you can't raise those arms up vertical towards the ceiling. Maybe you need to have your arms forward and at an angle. Then you're just bringing that band to the clavicle. But you still have to pay attention to your shoulders. Do not shrug your shoulders. So see where you're at. See what you can do. This one's really good for your lats, right? The big muscle around our ribs. It's our big back muscle. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one coming up, and 1. We're not pausing for that one. We're moving along. Good job. Let's go back to that very, very first move we did, the seated row. Okay, pick a leg, it doesn't matter, or you're using both legs. Make sure you're holding onto the band. Posture is real tall, right? Kind of lift the chest up a little, drop your shoulders down, bring those shoulder blades together just a little, and be mindful of your elbows as you bring your arms arms back. Try not to hit the arm bars of your chair if you do have the arm bars on your chair. And we're just pulling in. Bringing those elbows back. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And go forward. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And go forward. Really try to work on that posture as you bring those elbows back. Really trying to bring those arms back as far as you can. And squeezing your shoulder blades together. Keep that posture nice and tall. Stay strong through your core. Just a few more. Let's do 5 more. Not a few, but let's call it 5. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, moving along. I just wanted to get a little extra posture in there. Let's move it along. So, a couple of options here. You can either do this sitting or standing. One end of your band is going to be on the floor. You know what? I'll just show you from a seated position first. So if you're going to sit down on this one, you want to have quite a bit of slack coming out the side of the foot away from your body. And you have very minimal, it's already kind of tight, just having the band around the knees, the knee height, it's already tight, right? There's tension in this band already. So a lot of slack coming out underneath the foot and out to the side. And from right here, you're holding onto the band, right? Above the handle or below the handle, however you want to think about it. Hold on to it with 2 hands. I like to have each hand independent, holding on, but still close together. Okay, and you're making a fist. Posture's real tall. From here, we're going to raise our arms up and diagonal away from the slack, right? And we're going to go up. And as we do this, we're going to turn and twist a little, and then we come right back down. So as we come up, you're turning your body just a little. Now try not to lean, right? You may find yourself leaning to the side to get it up there. Don't lean. Just come up and a little turn. And you're bringing your hands up to right around shoulder, face, height in that general area. If you can go up a little higher above the head, great. But if not, no worries. Right? You're just doing what you can. And so we're going to do a seated version here. We'll go to the other side, and then we'll do the standing version. And if you can't do the standing version, then guess what? You can do the seated version. So let's do 2 more. Last one coming up. And stop. So that's really good on the shoulders, pretty challenging on the shoulders. But it's great to get the rotation in there, the turning, core work, right? So get your hands set up. Whatever hand is on top, guys and girls, is totally up to you based on your personal preference. But no matter what, keep your posture tall, your core engaged. The knees, the feet pointing straight ahead. Remember not to lean to the side, but turn, rotate, twist to the side. Twisting from the waist. So we come up and turn. Come right back down. Come up and turn. Come right back down. And so really think about flexing your core. Keeping those abs nice and tight. Tight, tight tummy. Let's do 5 more. 5. 4. Remember, you can come above the shoulder height or right to your shoulder height. 3. It's totally up to you where you're at. Last one. And stop. Okay, so now we're going to stand. So again, a little bit of slack. So because we're standing, you don't need to have that much slack coming out of the side, right? A little less, right? You're going to need a little more length on this one. But as you're holding on to it, and your arms are extended and you're standing tall, it should be tight. So it should already be tight in your hands. If it's really, really loose and there's no tension, you don't have enough slack or your length is incorrect. So you got to make the adjustment on your slack and the length of the band. So you can tell already this band is nice and taut, right? Top band. Posture's tall, shoulders are down, feet a little wide, get into an athletic stance. We're going to rotate. Now we're going to get the legs involved. Turn and twist. Now my knees are turning just a little. My legs turning just a little. Strong through your core. Remember to twist. Turn your body. But don't pivot your feet. Right? Try not to pivot the feet. We're not rotating and twisting that much. Right? Just a little turn and rotate. Now for those of you who play golf, this is really going to help your swing out. It's going to help your initial lift. It's going to give you that strength to wind up. Stay strong through your core. Lift, come down. Strong through the core, lift, come down. Let's do 5 more. Lift, come down. Remember to turn from the waist. 3 more. 2 more. Last one. All right, other side. Again, not as much slack on this one. Maybe about a foot of slack. Everyone's different depending on your height and your arm length. Again, remember, when it's in your hands, it should be nice and taut in the band. Right? You should already feel that tension. Other side now, turning, twisting, flexing that stomach. Right? Turning away from that slack. And you're twisting from the waist. Reaching up. Stay strong through your core. You'll feel those shoulders working. You'll feel that core working a little. Tighten up that stomach. Breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Breathe through. Almost there. Let's do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. All right. Last thing we're going to do. Little challenging. Okay? So, if you want to do this from a seated position, here's how you do it. Pretty tough from a seated position. It's easier to do this from a standing, but I just want to show you from a seated position. You literally get it around the bottom of your foot, both feet, and then you crisscross the bands at the top. Now from here, you're just trying to bring those legs out and in, which is hard to do, both legs at the same time. So another option is one leg out, in, other leg out, in. Alternate. So this is a seated option for what we're going to do standing. Okay? If you can do both legs out at the same time, it's a little more challenging. You have to worry about your balance and you have to think about your core more. It's a little tougher to do. You can always go one at a time. Now, for the standing option, again, we're going to crisscross, holding onto the handles. So you see how I have that X shape right in front of my shins and knees and thighs. So there's that X, it's crisscrossing, the bands are crisscrossing. From here, side step. Step out. So the band is underneath your feet. And you're just going to do some side steps. Maybe about, 4 steps to the right, 4 steps to the left, and then come back. depending on your space and what you have to work with. And so as we do this move, we are working on our lateral movement, right? The outer glutes, outer legs, right? Those hips are getting quite a bit of work. You just keep shifting side to side. Now try not to let your feet come too close together. You want to avoid that. Always have space between your feet. Right? So you're creating big space when you take a big step, then that trailing foot just comes in a little bit, maybe about half a step. Big step, then that half step in. So you just don't want to bring that trailing leg all the way into the foot. You want to avoid that because that'll take the tension away and it'll make it easy. I'm not in this to make it easy. I need to challenge you because if it doesn't challenge you, it will not change you. Almost there. You should really start to feel your outer hips, outer thighs, outer glutes. Everyone's different. You may feel it in a couple of those areas. You may not feel it much at all in some areas, and maybe just predominantly in the hips, the glutes. Wherever you feel it is wherever you feel it, and it's working. If you're moving, it's working. Almost done. Almost there. Let's do one more time to the right or your left. And then come back to where you started. And we're all done. Good job. Cut that band in half. Get rid of it. We're all done. Good work. Great job. No, don't cut that band in half. I'm only teasing. We're done. Should have really felt those hips. A lot of hips on that last one. So those last two moves, again, I'm sneaking in that pickleball kind of stuff for you guys. But overall, the lateral work definitely helps with pickleball, and then the rotation, right? Having to move those arms, because when you play pickleball, you do have to raise your arm a little out to the side, and you do have to turn and wind up a little bit. Yes, you're moving a little more horizontally, but that upward movement is possible to do in a pickleball game as well. So you either go up, out to the side, sometimes you go a little low, right? So any direction in that lateral type of plane of motion is good. So lateral work is always great, especially for agility with that side stepping that we were doing. So great work, everyone. Bravo. Good job. All done.